This is a video explaining how to use the famis work order system. The famis work order system should be used whenever reporting issues in and around the building. There are a few issues, however, that you do not report through famis, and those are laundry room concerns, internet, cable, and phone issues. To report laundry room issues, please refer to the video about Mac Gray. For internet, cable, and phone issues, you can use the information provided at the bottom of the job aid webpage to guide you. For now, you'll see that we're on the UMass Dartmouth webpage. At the top right-hand corner, you'll see quick links. By clicking on quick links, a variety of links navigating you around the UMass Dartmouth webpage will appear. In the third column of links, third from the bottom, you'll see famis. When you click on famis, it'll bring you to a new page, and on the right-hand side, it'll prompt you to log into one of two areas. The first area is to report any academic building or off-campus building issue, such as issues in Foster or SMAS. Whenever you're reporting something for your RA role, you'll want to log into the residential buildings portion. When you click on the residential buildings portion, it'll prompt you for your username and password. This username and password is the same username and password that you use to get into other areas of the UMass Dartmouth website. When it loads, it's going to bring you to the main famis page. You'll notice that your only option is to click on the Service Requests button in gray. When you do that, it'll then bring you to an area where you can do a few different things, one of them being searching for a previously put in work order. You can do this by clicking the Advanced Search link. Given that that's not what we want to do today, we're going to go back and create a service request, which is the other option of what you can do. When you create that, it's then going to ask you for your contact information. This is very important, as if there's any questions from our facility staff as to what the nature of the issue is, they want to be able to reach the right person. Feel free to put in for the phone number your room extension. You do not need to provide a cell phone unless comfortable. If you are showing a resident how to do this, you can feel free to put in their information or list them as an alternate requester. When you're done putting in your contact information, click Next. At this point, you want to create your own request, so that way the facilities crew knows what needs to happen. Then we're going to enter in what the title of the work order is. So for example, if it's a broken bed in Elmwood, broken bed in Elmwood room 001. It doesn't need to be a long title, but it should be as descriptive as to the nature of the problem. Then in the description of the work, you want to make sure that the person coming into the room understands where the problem area is. So in this case, broken bed frame, unstable, on the left-hand side of the room when in the doorway. You can be as descriptive as needed to make sure that the problem is going to get fixed. When you're done entering your description, hit Next. Now it's going to ask you to specifically tell facilities where the problem is. You always want to start with site. Anytime you're entering a work request for the residence halls, you're always going to click Housing. You then want to tell them which building it is. There are over 10 different residence halls on campus, so they need to be specific. In this case, we're entering in a work order for a bed in Elmwood, so we want to click Elmwood Hall. We then want to tell them the floor. What floor is it on? In this case, we can say it's the first floor. And then the room. We want to tell them what room it's in. On the left-hand side of the room description, it gives you the actual numbers as listed on facilities maps. On the right-hand portion, it tells you the corresponding description. So for example, if the issue is in 128A, which is a bedroom, you would see the room number on the left and the description of it being a bedroom on the right. You can click either the room portion or the description, and it'll pop up the same information. Please note that you have to select the information in that order of site, building, floor, then room to successfully complete this process. When you're done putting in this information, hit Next. The last step in the process is reviewing and confirming the information. If there's any information that does not appear to be correct, you can either cancel and start from the beginning, or use the back arrow on your browser and re-enter information. When you believe that everything is entered correctly, hit Finish. At this point, it's going to process and send in the information. You'll know that the work order was successfully submitted when this information line pops up. In the parentheses, it will give you the work order number. And this is especially important as you need to include it in your duty logs, weekly reports, and other information points. We'll tell you more about that during training. When you're done submitting a work order, you can go back and either submit a new work request or look up the work order that you just submitted. And that's it. That's how you use the famis work order system. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask your resident director.